Welcome back to the Pulse. Let's stay on health a while longer because on Sunday, Ghana will join the world to celebrate or mark World Neglected Topical Diseases Day. Neglected Topical Diseases, or NTDs, are a group of about 20 parasitic and bacterial diseases which affect about 1.7 billion people in about 149 of the poorest countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. These diseases include trachoma, intestinal worms, river blindness, bilharzia, elephantiasis, sleeping sickness, Buruli ulcer, leprosy, yaws, and many others. Most of these diseases do not kill but produce debilitating effects, including disfigurement and disability on patients. They are associated with poverty and intense stigmatization. Let's have a broader discussion on this one. And in the studio with me is David Ajiman. He's Senior Programs Manager with Sight Savers. I'm grateful for your time, Mr. Ajiman. Let's look at this year's theme. What's the theme for celebration this year?
The theme for this year's celebration is Achieving Health Equity to End the Neglect of Poverty-related diseases.
Okay. So if you talk about neglected tropical diseases, what are we talking about?
Okay, so neglected tropical diseases are about 20 diseases. And when we say neglected tropical diseases, actually an umbrella name that we use for all these 20 diseases.
Okay.
And they affect about 1.7 million people in the world. About 149 countries are affected. These are diseases that affect people that live in rural communities, very remote areas, and usually people who are affected by poverty. So these are neglected tropical diseases.
Okay. Now, so why are they neglected?
They are neglected for about two major reasons. The first one is that because the effect is not immediately realized. When you get malaria today, now, the next few hours, you realize the impact. And you will die if you don't do anything about it. But for neglected tropical diseases, if you get it, you might not have any symptoms. Usually, it will take a long time before you see it. Because the impact is usually not seen immediately, the world is neglecting it because we are not seeing the impact. Now, another reason also is that the people who are affected by these diseases are usually the poor, as I mentioned earlier. And the developed countries, most of them have eliminated these diseases. So they are not putting in the effort that they need to because they themselves are not affected.
Let's talk about the state or the situation, the current situation with neglected tropical diseases. We've heard about bilharzia, elephantiasis, and all of that as part of the 20 neglected tropical diseases you talk about. What's our current situation when it comes to these neglected tropical diseases?
Thank you very much. Ghana has made tremendous progress with the elimination of neglected tropical diseases. We eradicated guinea worm in 2015, and in 2018, we eliminated trachoma. Then we have also made huge progress with the other diseases. For example, now nobody gets blind from river blindness. In the past, people were going blind because of river blindness, but because of the work we've done over the years, nobody is getting blind from that. We used to get a lot of people with lymphedema, those with large limbs, Today, if you see anybody with that condition, the person got infected many years ago. People are not getting, that condition now because of the work we've done. Of the 114 districts that are endemic for lymphatic filariasis, now we have just 11 of them. We still have transmission above the elimination threshold. So much has been achieved when it comes to neglected tropical disease elimination in Ghana.
So now we are talking about also poverty and neglected tropical diseases. Is there a correlation?
Yeah, very much, because neglected tropical disease actually creates poverty. For example, if you look at, let's take someone who gets blind from river blindness, for example.
Okay.
The person cannot, be productive as he or she would have been if he had not been blind. And usually what will happen is that a child will be pulled out of school to go and take care of this person, maybe a parent, father or mother. So the child can also not go to school, and because of that, she will also become poor in the future, and then the cycle continues. We can also even look at intestinal worms.
Okay.
If students get intestinal worms, it will impact on their health. They will become anemic, and so they wouldn't be able to achieve what they are expected to achieve in school, to impact on their studies.
Quite interesting that you also talked about the progress we've made so far. But I mean, what's the plan to actually improve on our situation?
So that is why this World NTD Day, for example, is important. We are calling on the world. We are calling on our leaders in this country. We are calling on the private sector. We are calling on everyone to come and support neglected tropical disease.
Okay.
Because even though we have made progress, there's still so much to be done.
Okay.
And there are some diseases that we actually haven't gone anywhere. You look at schisto, for example.
Yeah.
Bilharzia. It's all over this country, and people still have it. And so are other diseases. And even those that we've made progress, we haven't eliminated them. So we need everybody's support. So funding, for us to achieve sustainability with neglected tropical disease elimination, we need local funding, and the government and everyone in Ghana should support that.
Is there any effect of like COVID-19 on this neglected tropical diseases?
Yeah. I would say that COVID-19 is making the elimination more expensive.
Okay.
Because now we need extra money to protect people who go out to, provide the NTD interventions. We have to buy PPEs for them, and so on. Also, neglected tropical diseases, the attention that we used to have, we are no longer having it to some extent because COVID is now taking all the attention.
Okay.
For example, we're supposed to launch this NTD Day on the 31st. But 31st is when they are launching the COVID-19 vaccine week. So we have to postpone ours to the 1st. So you see that COVID-19 is actually taking the attention, getting more attention.
That's quite interesting. And you are calling on all stakeholders to come on board so we can have this disease, dealt with. But what specifically do you recommend that we do as a people at the government level, at the individual level, to ensure that we help deal with the situation?
Okay, thank you very much. So let me speak to colleagues who live in the endemic communities. One of the things that we want people living in the endemic communities of Ghana to do is to accept the neglected tropical disease interventions. Most importantly, the drugs that we distribute, the mass drug administration. So if some of these colleagues are listening to us, please accept the drugs when they bring it to you. For the government, we are calling for the government to provide, to earmark funding for neglected tropical diseases.
Okay.
Many years ago, I used to work for Ghana Health Service for guinea worm eradication. And if you look at the guinea worm eradication data, you realize that we started making progress most when government put in money, when government earmarked funding for that disease. Now, neglected topical diseases is just donor-driven entirely, almost, you know. So we need government to come in. But we also need the private sector to come in, because we cannot alleviate poverty without the elimination of neglected topical disease.
I'm grateful for your time, David Ajiman. David Ajiman is the Senior Programs Manager at Site Savers. I'm grateful that we were able to make it.